Welcome, everyone. We're here to give you a concise briefing on the really fast-moving world of automated insulin delivery. This is all based on Dr. Teresa Nimmo's fantastic presentation from the 2025 St. Bernard Symposium, designed to get you, as providers, totally up to speed for the coming year.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big idea behind automation, quickly cover the pump settings that are being automated, then we'll line up the 2025 systems side by side, talk about patient selection, and wrap up with a look at what's coming next.
So to really get our heads around these AI systems, Dr. Nimmo used a great analogy. Just think about your car for a second. Does it have cruise control? That was one of the first big steps in automation, right? It takes over one simple, repetitive task, holding your speed.
And now, think about all the other features we have. Lane assist, blind spot sensors, backup cameras, each one automates another little piece of the driving puzzle. And every piece it takes over reduces the mental load on the driver and hopefully makes things safer.
And that's exactly the leap we're seeing in diabetes management. We've moved past single feature assists, like just suspending for a low, and into these truly integrated systems that are juggling multiple data points to automate the incredibly complex job of delivering insulin.
This slide, well, this gets to the very heart of it, the why behind all this technology. It's all about shifting that relentless 24/7 burden of manual math and injections onto a smart system. The goal? Increase their time and range, of course, but just as important, lift some of that heavy cognitive weight of living with this disease.
Okay, so if we're going to compare these different systems, we've got to make sure we're all speaking the same language. So let's do a quick refresher on the core components of pump therapy that these algorithms are actually taking over.
First up, the basal rate. You know this, it's the background, the constant drip of insulin. In manual mode, it's just a fixed program. But in an AID system, the algorithm is constantly tweaking this rate up or down every few minutes, all based on that CGM data, trying to keep the person steady.
All right, then you have the bolus. This is for meals and for correcting high blood sugars. Now, patients still have to tell the system they're eating, but here's the cool part. Some of these newer systems can now give an automatic correction bolus all on their own with no input from the user. And this next one is absolutely crucial to understand. It's active insulin time, or what you'll hear called insulin on board. Think of it as the system's memory. It's not about how long insulin actually lasts in the body. It's a setting that tells the algorithm, hey, don't forget about that last bolus, which prevents stacking insulin and causing a dangerous low. It's a huge safety feature.
Okay, now for the main event. Let's do a rapid-fire look at the 5 major automated insulin delivery systems that you are going to be seeing and prescribing for your patients in 2025. Now, what I find really fascinating about this slide is how it shows the fundamentally different philosophies behind each system. You can just see, at a glance, the whole spectrum of user control, from systems like TWIIST that are highly adjustable, all the way to something like the iLet, which takes almost all of those adjustments away. This is so important when you're trying to match a patient to a system.
First up, the MiniMed 780G. A big plus here is the target flexibility. You can set it to 100, 110, or 120. It's also got expanded CGM compatibility now. The standout features are those auto-corrections happening every 5 minutes and a meal detection technology that tries to help with unannounced carbs, though obviously we're still telling our patients to bolus for every meal.
Next, we've got Tandem's Control-IQ Plus platform. This runs on both the Tandem X2 and their new, much smaller Mobi Pump. This system has a fixed target of 110 when it's in auto mode, and it's designed to give an automatic correction bolus if it thinks the glucose is going to go over 180, and with the Mobi, you get the convenience of controlling everything from a smartphone.
And here's the OmniPod 5. Its big claim to fame, of course, is that it is the only tubeless aid system out there. That's a huge deal for a lot of people, especially kids and active adults. Its algorithm, called Smart Adjust, actually learns the user's needs over time and personalizes their profile. But here's a key counseling point. That learning gets wiped if a patient switches from an iPhone to an Android or vice versa. They have to start over.
All right, the iLet Bionic Pancreas. This system is a complete game changer, but for a very specific type of patient. The setup is wild. All it needs is the patient's weight, no carb counting. The user just announces a meal as usual, more or less. That simplicity is incredibly powerful for some, but it's absolutely not for the patient who likes to be in control and see every single unit of insulin.
And finally, we have the TWIIST system, a newer player powered by that tide pool algorithm. A couple of things really make it stand out. It uses a powerful 6-hour glucose forecast to make its decisions. It offers a really high degree of customization for its targets, and you can bolus discreetly from an Apple Watch, which a lot of people love.
So, we have all this amazing technology, but how does it all translate from the spec sheets to your actual clinic? Because the best tech in the world is useless if it's not a good fit for the patient.
So who's the perfect candidate? You're looking for someone who's motivated, who is carb-aware, and who's generally comfortable with technology. The most important expectation to set is that these are not set-it-and-forget-it devices. They are powerful partners, but success really depends on the patient working with the technology.
Now, if you only take away 3 things from this entire briefing, let it be these 3 pearls. Number 1, settings do not transfer between systems. If a patient switches from a Tandem to an OmniPod, you have to start fresh. Number 2, a backup plan is non-negotiable. They must have long-acting insulin and syringes at all times. And number 3, you have to aggressively train them on what to do when a site fails or a sensor errors out, because a lack of insulin can lead to DKA very, very quickly.
Okay, to wrap things up, let's just take a quick peek over the horizon. Where is all of this technology headed next?
I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows you how incredibly fast this field is moving. We went from pumps that could just show CGM data in 2006 to systems that could stop for a low to today's predictive algorithms with autocorrection. It's been a wild ride in a pretty short amount of time, and that next step is full life integration.
So the future isn't just a slightly smarter insulin algorithm. It's an algorithm that plugs into a patient's entire life. It pulls data from their fitness app, their GPS location, their menstrual cycle from a health tracker, maybe even their medication data for things like steroids. All of that will create a truly personalized, truly proactive way to manage diabetes.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. As these systems get more and more powerful and woven more deeply into our patients' lives, our challenges are going to evolve too. Is the next big hurdle going to be data privacy? Or maybe user burnout from being connected all the time? Or is it something else we haven't even thought of yet? Thanks so much for your attention.